Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing Dax's EP, I'll Say It For You. Before we start, I want to give some context, not on the EP, just what's happened with Dax lately. For some reason he has disappeared from all of his social medias, he's deleted every post out there, unless if it's on like YouTube, his music videos and all that, they're still up. He recently did a song with Crypt that really did surprise me, and the thing is, the song was really good. Dax was put out of his comfort zone, you know, doing all this depressed stuff or like whatever he normally does. What was it? He went fast, like he went hard in that track. So did Crypt. I don't really care for the first verse. Then lately he was in the Blame the Rappers track that I didn't care for. I thought it was a bad track. The thing is, with that track, you got to keep in mind he did say he ain't perfect, but he'll change.
Man, I know I'm not perfect, but I'll change. I'm the outcome of this world and my pain, and this music is pills, and I promise this dose that you take won't make you say.
Maybe he left to find himself during this whole quarantine stuff. To the actual EP, here we are. We start off with the first song, I Can't Breathe. There is so much with this track. It's actually amazing. Why he didn't put this as one of his singles before the EP dropped, I don't understand. It has amazing instrumental and a beat kicking in perfectly. You know, like after first verse, then you have the hook, then I think he does like a little bridge or something. Then the beat like changes in a way and it's amazing. Then he starts singing. Oh, it is beautiful. In the song he's talking about he's conflicted with religion. That goes in more in detail later on in the EP with the tracks Dear God and Book of Revelations. He talks about his anxiety and he worries about losing his mum, like with her age and stuff. He says he's got people around him but feels alone. This clearly shows he's got trust issues with the people around him. He bought a house but it doesn't feel like a home. He doesn't feel welcome into his own house, essentially, and he prefers to be with others than just being on his own. It's got quite dark imagery that leads to like darker thoughts throughout the track. So it starts off like light in a way, then it slowly becomes dark as the track progresses. Once again, the vocals were amazing on this track. The track's about overthinking, which leads to him having anxiety. Like this track, even in the music video, he's got this chains around him and he feels caged in, basically. He feels like he's locked in. He can't escape his own thoughts. And that's why I love this track so much. It's honestly amazing. I recommend this to anyone. Even if you're a bloody KSI fan, I think you will really enjoy this song. This is one of the tracks I didn't care for on the EP, and that was Thought Those Were My Last Words. It's good for a background song. It's not that good when you really look into it. It's kind of a weird instrumental. It doesn't fit with the rest of the EP. And the first part of this song was called My Last Words. That wasn't even that great itself. Then knowing he made a part 2 of that, it still isn't that good. It's better than the first part, don't get me wrong, but it's such a boring song. Average bass beat. The hook is boring as hell. The hook is just dead. If he had a second chance in life, he would take advantage of it, do things that he couldn't do before. He would exceed basically in what he's doing. Strange vocal ad-libs in the background, and it doesn't really link to the album, well, the EP that well. Yeah, I don't care for the song that much. I definitely think there's way better songs on this whole EP. I Need a Break. Very, very interesting song. That's really all that I can say with the song. The hook, he explains why he needs a break. Like, he's got failed relationships, and, you know, this EP does talk about his failed relationships quite a bit. That's one of the reasons why I like this EP, is that we don't see Dax doing this too much. Yeah, we've had songs like She Cheated Again and the one previous to that, but it's nice to see that it's like fresh. He's talking about new relationships he's had since then, and it's not repetitive, it's something new, and that's what I like. New stories, and he actually references She Cheated Again in a later on song. He talks about how he's gone through pain and misery, hopes things gets better, possibly relying on God on that one, because like the EP is focused on religious beliefs. So I'm thinking the song is somewhat of a stretch to God, hoping that he can help him. Once again, great performance, amazing instrumental. I'm not going to deny it. It is a great song. Once again, I highly recommend it. Dear God, the best or second best song on this whole EP. It is amazing. Honestly, it is great. This is a track, obviously, talking about his religious beliefs, but then, he can't really determine why all these bad things happen. He wants a clear explanation from God, and he doesn't want to rely on a book. He doesn't want to ask people, because, they think they got the answers, but really he wants to talk to the man upstairs. Tried to pray, the line where he goes, I tried to call, pick up the phone. Other words, he tried to pray and got no response from God. He questions God and his surroundings. Then he goes on about why the good role models have to die, such as Malcolm X and MLK, King. He wants them to rest well, and why God took him away from this world. Then we go to the second big religious track on this whole EP, and that's Book of Revelations, Part 2 of Dear God. So it's a very good instrumental, it's quite settling. Only issue is, his flow is quite slow and boring. Yeah, he's got to go and get his points as clear as he can, but in some way, comparing it to Dear God, this track is so disappointing compared to it. Don't get me wrong, it's a good track, just disappointing. He questions why do we have all these emotions, questions life, complex thoughts in his head, and we're going in Dax's head, yeah, and he's going on about his thoughts, and it gets quite complex with what he's saying. It's midway through the track where he's properly questioning things what if hell is on earth? What being born is dying, and dying's birth? I think there's very good complex thinking there. I really like being inside Dax's head for a few moments there. The music video is quite cringe, but basically stands up for everyone. And once again, he wants answers from God himself. This time, during the end of the track, he seems really aggressive, which is very good. His performance is very well done here. He's stretching so much for a real answer from God. Love Hurts was another great track on this EP. He goes on about how he was manipulated. He needs to go to church, but questions his faith, which is a reoccurring theme during this whole EP. That's why he's basically saying for you. So the EP is called I'll Say It For You, and he's saying all these things that everyone has questioned in their life. Let's be real, if God is real. And he directs it to God himself. He goes on about how there's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, but he'll do it again. He'll happily have that relationship again, which would question the listener, but I think it's really effective for this track. He goes on about how he goes to social media, but he gets clowned on. I like the beat change as well. Then he has a really horrific line about how he caught his girlfriend cheating on his birthday. I won't lie, when I heard that bar, I was like, damn. I can't even lie. It was a good bar. To be fair, when there's very few bad bars throughout this whole EP. He has great aggression. He's able to change his vocals. He knows when to be aggressive. During this EP, the first bit is his anxiety and him trying to calm himself down. Then later on during this EP, he gets more aggressive and he feels the need to shout. And that's what I love about this EP. He feels the need to shout to the point he ends up getting really upset during the end. He feels like he's given up and he just cries, which leads on to him wanting to follow the devil instead, as it's easier to do that than follow God. Yeah, so this song he goes on about he gave up on God and he went to the devil for guidance, which was hinted, but I had to make sure it was true, because I don't want to stand here and tell you a load of rubbish. I love the cheeky reference to She Cheated Again there. I love that reference, Dax. I love it. My Heart Hurts, the end track on this EP, and I am telling you, it is a good way to end this EP. Although people will disagree with me, I thought it was an amazing way to end this EP. Another love song, yeah, you can say, oh, it's such a cliche song and all that. My friends thought it was average, but I thought the song was very, very good. Because he's got a beautiful instrumental. Then right at the beginning, we've never seen him do this before. Well, I haven't anyway. This woman's like saying, stop playing with me or something at the beginning, which is very effective for this track, don't forget. Very effective. Amazing performance. Simple hook, but that's a good thing. This track wasn't meant to go all in. It was meant to be slow. It was meant to tell you, like, his pain. This track felt like he was giving up in some cases. Think about it to the rest of the EP. This last song changes everything, in my opinion. The verses aren't too complicated. And once again, that's to show pain. He goes on about how his girl cheated more than once, I believe. There's a whole bit where he goes like, fool me once, shame on you. You fooled me twice, now I'm looking like a fool. He believes he's the bigger fool in this whole relationship, although she's the one who did wrong. Overall, this EP is honestly amazing. I'm gonna give my rating now, and this will shock some of you. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I know that's very high, and I know people will disagree with me saying it's a 7. Yeah, don't forget, nearly 50% of you that watch me aren't subscribed, so if you really did enjoy this, please subscribe. And don't forget, you're the real ones.